I want to thank everyone for joining me again tonight for another episode of Your Pleasure Incorporated into Daily Living. I'm your host, Ellen Nicholas Rathbone, life coach and fitness enthusiast, actually, good health enthusiast. So every week I do my very best to bring to you perspectives from life, people who have good ideas about how to stay healthy in this world of medications and how we can avoid that. Well, today we're going to be talking about nutrition. And I have invited a wonderful guest. He is a certified nutritionist and he is the personal trainer manager at Robert Wood Johnson Fitness and Wellness. His name is Mike Horak, I'm sorry. And he is a very knowledgeable person. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about the kinds of food that you need for peak performance. And I hope that you enjoy our talk tonight. So let me bring Mike on. Hi, Mike. How are
Hey,
you?
Ellen. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me. I
So,
really appreciate it.
oh my goodness. This is a I think that it's important to talk about nutrition because
Absolutely.
nutrition is the foundation of the whole body. And if you it's like building your house with sand if you are eating foods that do not have any nutrition.
All right.
So, give us a couple of ideas on what you think a healthy diet would look like for the
Uh,
average
so,
person.
so a healthy diet to me for the average person would be a balance between carbohydrates, fats, and proteins.
Okay.
And when I say a balance of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, at the end of the day, it's always calories in versus calories out. Kind of look at your plate like half your plate should be your veggies, which is your micronutrients, and some carbohydrates, and you have a little portion on the top there should be some carbohydrates, and you have a pretty sizable portion at the bottom there, depending on male, female, your proteins.
Right.
Proteins are extremely important, fats are extremely important, and carbohydrates are all very important. We
Right.
call those macronutrients.
Right.
So
Okay.
that to me would be pretty important
Now, do you
place to start.
suggest the same kind of a diet for all three body types, endomorph, mesomorph, and ectomorph? Do you think like the distribution of calories should be the same for all three body types, or is it a little bit more for one and a little less for another?
So when it comes to like the type of body part or body type, endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph, it really depends on the individual for me. That's the way I always look at it with your basal metabolic rate. Your endomorph, a little bit bigger, kind of probably burns more carbohydrate, stores more fat as energy. That's
Yeah.
probably why they're a little bit bigger. Then you
Right.
have your endomorph, a little bit on the leaner side. That probably burns more fats, probably high intensity type stuff. So you have a lot more carbohydrate burning going on there. I would say more of depends on your basal metabolic rate as opposed to the type of body you have.
Okay. All right. Do you think that there's any particular foods that would be recommended for peak performance in not only in sports but in general living or you know for intimacy? Because my topic is always on intimacy,
Mhm.
and I think if you don't have energy, you cannot meet the challenge.
Right.
Okay.
So we had talked about I just put some notes out here, just like energy wise foods. So balance of blood sugar is very important for energy and performance wise when it comes to sports, the bedroom, work, whatever.
Right.
Good things to eat would be complex carbohydrates that kind of are low glycemic index. So stuff like oatmeal is great. It has
Okay.
bananas, sesame seeds, sweet potatoes are fantastic too because they're high in fiber. So a lot of people, just for example, see sweet potatoes. They see, oh my God, look at all these carbohydrates. So that brings us to net carbohydrates. So your body is not digesting the fiber. The fiber is very good for gut health. Having good gut health is very good overall health, sexual health, and that having good gut health leads to more energy.
Right.
So you're actually digesting less of those carbohydrates in the sweet potato.
Right.
Um, you have, let me see here, a lot of like fibrous foods are also very good for energy keeping. Shrimp or salmon, which is high in omega 3s, so those good fatty acids, that's going to help regulate blood sugar as well. So finding that balance between regulating blood sugar and getting those good, complex, slow digesting carbohydrates is what I feel is important for energy and sustaining energy. Another thing too is you want to eat about every 3 to 4 hours, so you get that constant influx of nutrients into your body. So your body is in a constant burning state, burning down the sugar, because we were evolved on sugar and glycogen. That's what our body craves all the time. So if you're getting that constant good sugar into the body, not the processed stuff, your body's going to be constantly working and keeping that energy high, because it has something to work off of. Our body's always burning sugar.
Now, would you recommend eating, how far in advance? Let's say you're going to do a sporting event, play 9 innings of baseball, or a seriously intense game of basketball or football, or even just to work out a really intense, like say lifting or cardio or something. How far in advance do you think it would be a good idea to eat, or should they wait until after they do the sporting event?
So for what I've found is that's a loaded question for me, because each individual, again, you're going to see a constant theme here with the individual and how unique everybody's body is. So it kind of goes to the point with what works for you. Now, I'm going to give some examples of things that work for myself and some other people. For me, if I'm about to work out and I don't have something within the hour before, I get sick to death. Like, I can't work out. I don't eat before my baseball game. I don't play well. I feel lethargic. But then you have people that go to work out and they can't eat for 3-4 hours before they work out. I always recommend, say, the next day you have a high intensity leg day. Let's say leg day, you're using a lot of the muscles. The day before is usually when I eat a pretty big meal. I'm not worried about anything really, because I know the next day I'm going to be burning a lot of those calories off, even though it probably takes a little bit longer for you to be burning those calories. You always want to eat, for myself, that I found is the bigger meals the day before. And also right before I work out, I have a little bit of a snack. I'm not saying go have a Thanksgiving dinner before you work out, but I always like to throw in a little bit of something just so while I'm working out, I have something burning. Also, sometimes what I'll do is I'll make like almost like a meal replacement shake. I'll throw a little bit of protein, some carbohydrates, and some healthy fats like peanut butter, some oatmeal, scoop of protein, and I'll drink that throughout my workout. It's like an inch to workout, a little bit of salt, because the electrolytes are also very good to keep your energy levels high.
Right.
So that's what I've always found works best for me and clients that have worked with me.
Okay.
Hope that makes sense.
Now, there are some carbohydrates that have been demonized because they have a high glycemic index, like we'll say a white potato. Okay.
Sure.
Do you think that it's best, or rice, white rice? So those kind of carbohydrates, a lot of times, don't they turn into sugar, which if you're not burning enough calories, that sugar turns into fat? I mean, don't you have to have a pretty active day to be able to eat those kind of carbs?
Right. So like the white potato and white rice do have a higher glycemic index, but nothing to, I would say, shy away from. What I found in just readings, everything like that, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, tri-colored potatoes, any kind of rice essentially is better than eating McDonald's French fries, let's say. Yes, if you're not burning off those sugars and utilizing those sugars, they can turn into triglycerides, fatty sugars, essentially, which is you store. So I don't want to say shy away from white potatoes, but don't go eat them every day.
Right.
Type thing. Again, moderation is always key. I don't ever really shy away from white potatoes. I love white potatoes. I love tri-colored potatoes, and sweet potatoes are the 3 things I always eat.
With
Jasmine rice.
With the skin or without
do
the
eat the skin. I do eat the skin because the skin has the most nutrients.
Right. Okay.
I eat the skin of pretty much every potato I make, except the sweet potato. I'm not really a big fan of the sweet potato skin.
No.
When I make potatoes, I chop them up and roast them. It actually tricks my mind to think I'm having like a meal, like from, let's say, the French fries. I'm having healthy tri-colored potatoes that I made at home. Making things at home is another important thing that I always tell people too, because the less processed foods you have, the better. Your body tends to absorb more of those calories from processed foods because it's easier for your body to break it down. So there's called the thermic effect of feeding. So your body actually is burning calories to break down the chemical bonds and the structures of the foods you're eating So the processed foods are a little bit easier for your body. Your body's ingesting more of those calories because it takes less time to break it down, and it's easier for your body to absorb. Your whole grain, nutrient dense, non-processed foods that you get at the perimeter of the grocery store. I always tell my clients to shop around the perimeter of the grocery store. It's usually where most of your non-processed foods are. Your body's going to work harder to burn those. So those calories that you're getting from, let's say, the white potato or the white rice, it's actually going to work a little bit harder because it's a non-processed food. And you're not going to really take in all those sugars and all those calories and proteins, carbohydrates, and stuff that you would find in any of those meals. So that's what I would say. Moderation is super key. Low glycemic index is definitely what you want to look for. But again, you don't want to have to, even some of the demonized carbohydrates that you'll find are really not so bad for you.
Okay. How about pasta?
Depends on the pasta. I love chickpea pasta because high protein.
Oh,
And if
I
somebody
love
who's,
chickpea
it's
pasta. I
delicious,
love
isn't it?
it. Oh my
And if
God.
you're trying to lose weight, what you want to do is increase protein. So if you look on the side of chickpea pasta compared to your normal pasta that's processed, chickpea pasta has more calories. And you go, whoa, what the hell's going on here? But if you look at
Right.
the protein, there's a lot more protein in that, and 4 calories per gram of protein. But the protein is what you want. It's actually going to help you burn more fat.
Right.
You and I talked about this at Robert Wood about fat burning foods.
Right.
High protein diets, not like crazy high protein diets, but you want to have your proteins higher than normal. That's going to facilitate thermogenesis and fat burning, actually. So we
Right.
talked a little bit about that too.
Right.
So I would
Do
stay
you
away
think
from processed pasta, but kind of just make healthier choices like whole grain, homemade chickpea pasta, veggie pasta is not too bad for you because you can't restrict yourself to one thing and not eating a couple things. You'll drive yourself crazy. We're all human beings. We like to enjoy ourselves. Sometimes we like to
right?
indulge. Moderation is super key here.
Right.
I
How
can't I
about
can't even
portion
sit.
control? Is portion
Portion
control
control.
important? Or,
Absolutely.
I
Portion
mean, because
control
if
is,
it looks really good and you just want to keep stuff in your face,
oh my
does your
God, yeah.
body does your body metabolize food when the stomach is super full? Like if you eat, should you go half full, 2/3 full, totally full? Like what do you think is a good amount so that your body can digest properly?
I would say eat till you feel satiated. What that means is I ate, I feel good. I feel like I probably could eat a little bit more, but I shouldn't. If you're sitting
Right.
there saying I probably could, but I shouldn't, then you probably shouldn't. But you don't want to sit there like, oh my God, I ate too much, and your belly is kind of extended. Because if you do eat too much, there will be some inflammation in the stomach and everything like that. You will not feel good. If you get done
Right.
with a meal and you're like, you know what, that felt good, I feel all right. Portion control is huge. A trick for portion control: buy smaller plates.
Hmm.
Trick your mind into thinking you have this giant meal, but you really just have a smaller plate. Eat with
Right.
smaller utensils. I have 2 little girls. Sometimes I'll take their forks and plates and I'll eat off that to stop myself from eating like an idiot. So, it's just portion control and kind of
Whatever
mind, because
works.
your mind plays tricks on your stomach because your mind controls everything. Your mind tells you, sends um, signals on hormones out telling you you're hungry, and sometimes you're not hungry. Sometimes
Right.
you'll see a billboard on the side of the road that has crap on it and go, I want that. You just ate. So your mind
Right.
plays tricks on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
portion control
think
is huge. Small. Go ahead.
do you see food as medicine? I mean, do you feel like it is the building blocks of your health?
Mhm.
Or do you think that there's that supplements are going to offset what we're not getting or what we should be eating from a balanced diet? Do you think we need supplements? Is really what
Uh,
I'm
so
asking.
so to your question, yes, I think we do need to supplement, but I don't think we need to rely on supplements.
Okay.
Because just examples, we talked earlier about omega-3 fatty acids. And basically, the way food is grown, the way fish are harvested, and everything that's going on in the world today. If you eat a lot of fish, you're still probably getting about a third of the recommended dose that you actually should be getting.
Okay.
So I don't go crazy on supplements. I take a multivitamin. I take fish oil. I take conjugated linoleic acid. It's just kind of for muscle growth. I take extra vitamin C, vitamin D, and I also take CoQ10 for my heart. But I don't sit there and just replant supplements because the food you want to eat should have most of the nutrients that you should be getting naturally. Your lean meats, beef, turkey, chicken, fish. They should have most of the stuff you have, so you shouldn't be sitting there. I'm gonna go to Burger King today, but I'm gonna go eat a shit ton of. I hope I can curse. I'm sorry. A shit ton
It's
of
okay.
vitamins, and I'll be okay. That's not the way we want to do it. You want to don't rely on supplements, but it's good to have that extra safety net for those healthy supplements. Your multivitamin has A, B, D, E, K, um, zinc,
So
magnesium, iron, stuff like that.
do you
Go ahead.
think that grass-fed beef and or grain-fed beef, that there is much difference between them?
Yes,
And yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I
So
think that
it's really important to make an investment in healthier foods, because
absolutely
you are what you eat, but more importantly, not
you are
only
what they eat.
what they eat. So if
Yep.
they're eating stuff that doesn't have the right minerals in it, if
Mhm.
they're eating, say, foods from depleted soil,
Right.
then that grain is not going to have any nutrients in it. And it's going to go into the cow. And then the
Huh?
cow is also not going to have the same level
Right.
of nutrients for us. So it
Yeah.
really
So
is kind of
mhm.
tricky. Also, same thing with fish, like salmon.
Yep.
If you have salmon that are farm raised, you can really see the difference
You can.
between,
And
the
coloration, everything.
coloration of
Oh yeah.
farm raised and wild caught. Such
Uh-huh.
a difference. And I even think there's a
Just
difference in flavor too.
I
I
think
mean,
so
not
too. And
just
you
the
just
color.
your point about the grain fed and the grass fed, and then I'll talk about the salmon too. Grain fed, grass fed too. Another supplement I forgot to take was B12. B12 is super important, super important. Um, Everybody, vegetarian, vegan, regular, your normal eaters that eat meat, everybody is pretty much deprived of natural B12. So I think B12 supplements are great. My mom had an issue with severe lack of B12. We pretty much gave her a stroke. She's okay, thank God.
Yeah.
But we need to take B12 in. So grass fed, green fed, grass fed is better for you. I believe that's my opinion. But we talked about with salmon coloration. I worked in fishery for 8 years. We always got wild caught salmon, and you could tell just the difference in the color. But then you go to ShopRite today and you go look at the salmon; it's almost orange.
Yeah.
Another thing with fish, if you ever walk into a fishery or a fish store and you smell fish, turn around, get the hell out. Not good fish.
Right.
So
Right.
the way, like you said, everything, the way it's grown, the way that they feed, the way that they swim, the way that they exercise, whatever it is going to play a big portion of the type of nutrients you're getting. Absolutely.
I think that we need to have more education as far as cooking is concerned,
Hmm.
and learning how to feed ourselves properly. I mean, we're raising a whole generation of people who think that fast food has something for them. It's going to fill
Hmm.
their belly and then they can keep going. But I think that if you eat the wrong kind of foods, it absolutely affects your processes, not only
Hmm.
all your physical processes, but it also affects your mind. Like, you're not
Yes.
going to think as clearly if
Hmm.
you have if you're working on deficient fuel. And that's what a
Right.
lot of the fast food is. It's deficient fuel.
It is.
So, I mean, they really hurt the American public greatly when they took away home economics.
I
And
do.
of course, they
Hmm.
also hurt it when they took away shop, because people don't know how to hit a nail.
They don't,
But
don't do that anymore.
I really think this is like grassroots, foundational stuff
Right. Yeah.
for being able to survive. And if
Basic
you
human.
don't know how to
Mhm.
cook, then you're really up that proverbial creek without a paddle.
And I was
You're at the
almost up that creek.
mercy of all of these conveniences, which in many ways are dangerous to our
Right.
health,
I was
because you
almost up
really
that
are
creek
what
too.
you eat. And it's a really good
Amen.
idea to know how to put together a meal for yourself that's
Mhm.
balanced, that's tasty, and that has the nutrients that your body needs to build itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh
Right?
yeah. So
Yeah.
when you just talked about it, learning how to cook and giving yourself body what it needs, you can tell the difference when you eat fast food. Your cognitive awareness, your cognitive function is definitely slowed. You're lethargic. If you eat your stuff you cook in the kitchen, um, you can still make it taste good, even by cooking healthy food. You can still use spices. You can still
Oh,
enjoy
absolutely.
the everyday thing, and I think that's what people kind of get away from too, because the lack of education. It's not so much they don't want to eat healthy. It's just a lack of education. They think that they need to throw just a bland piece of chicken on the grill and that's it. You can do a ton of stuff. Uh,
Right.
when we talk about being up the creek without a paddle, when I joined the military, I basically relied on my mom up until I was to cook all my meals before I left. And I go first living on my own. I said, "Oh crap, I got to cook some food." So I taught myself how to cook, and it's been the best thing I could ever do. Um,
Right.
Gordon Ramsay and I have the same birthday, so I followed a lot of Gordon Ramsay videos. Called my mom; she showed me how to do some stuff, and it's been one of the best investments. Now, don't get me wrong; I still enjoy a McDonald's cheeseburger every once in a while. I'm human too, but eating out of the kitchen is probably the best way to do it. Portion
I
control. You
totally
find a way to
agree.
enjoy your own food by throwing some
Right.
spice on it, making it interesting, without throwing the extra crap into it.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying I do the McDonald's burger, but sometimes I do like KFC. I
Everybody's
do.
got their thing, right?
Yeah, so but it's not an everyday thing. It's like maybe
Hmm.
once in a blue moon,
Right.
I'll
It's a
have
treat.
it if it's yeah, it's a treat.
Hmm.
And if we try to survive on that, we're
Hmm.
killing ourselves
We are.
very definitely every time. But once in a
Leads to
blue moon,
tons of
it's not
stuff.
such a big deal. It's just that
Moderation.
people have forgotten that those places are not interested in whether you're healthy or not. So they're not interested in giving you good quality food, good quality meats, good quality sauce, whatever they're putting. The whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead. So here they
Right.
have these bleached buns and this God knows hormone laden meat, and people think that that's okay because it fills the belly, but it's really not just about filling the belly.
It's
It's
almost like a
about
superficial fill. Hmm.
I'm sorry.
It's almost like a superficial fill.
It is.
Uh,
It
on the
definitely
outside, I
is.
felt good, but going down, you're not really doing your body good, and it can lead to a whole mess of problems down the road.
Now, if you've eaten healthy for quite a while, and then you have something, say, from Taco Bell or McDonald's or something, does your body react to it? Do you feel like, or do you have more of a strong constitution?
So when I'm on my game and I'm eating very healthy, and then I say, "Oh, I want to go to Taco Bell or something like that, or whatever it is," as soon as I'm done eating, I am not having a good time.
Right.
Just put it that way. My body gives me a big middle finger, and it's not fun.
Right.
But if I'm kind of 50-50 with my eating like crap, eating good, then I kind of get away with it a little bit. Still don't feel great, but it's probably better to give yourself a little treat every once in a while if you really feel like you have to. But making those healthy choices really been
I,
the
I
best.
think what's important to remember there is that if you feel like you are so totally restricted and all you can eat is what's healthy for you,
Right.
then you're going to want to rebel. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? It's like
human
somebody
nature.
tells you, yeah, you can't have that. You can't have that. Damn it, that's what I want. Right.
Yep. Mhm.
So, but if you know that every once in a while you're going to give yourself whatever it is you want, then you don't have that same hankering for it. You don't
Right.
have that same, it's not like such a drive to have it.
Great
And
point.
you don't worry about it then,
Great
because
point.
again, like you said
Absolutely.
earlier, everything in moderation. And I think
Mhm.
that's what's really important. Yeah.
Mhm. That's a fantastic point. I agree
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
Right.
Mhm.
What time do you think is the best time to eat a breakfast?
Um,
Far as
Again,
metabolizing is concerned.
so I wouldn't say metabolism's a concern with that one. If you are hungry as soon as you wake up, go ahead and eat. For me,
Right.
as soon as I wake up, I'm not really hungry for about an hour. I'll wait till my body says, "Hey, I'm kind of hungry." A big thing to kind of what I do in the morning. First thing I do in the morning is I wake up and I have a glass of water. Just a glass of
Okay.
water, warm, cold, whatever you want to do, whatever's best for you.
Lemon or no?
If you want to, I don't do lemon. I just
Okay.
do plain filtered water. Um, Water's a whole different topic there too.
Right.
But I just have a glass of water and I pretty much walk out the door and I go to work.
Right.
30 minutes, half hour, so I feel a little hungry, and then I'll go have my breakfast, train a couple clients, do what I got to do. 3, 4 hours later, I eat again. But again, it's like depends on you. If I wake up in the morning, I'm starving to death, I'll probably make myself something.
Right. Okay.
Again, listen to your body. The body is always trying to tell you what it needs when it needs it. Um, if you wake up hungry, try water first, because a lot of times when you're hungry, even throughout the day, it's because you're dehydrated.
Right.
So have some water first, and you say, "Oh, I'm actually still hungry." Then go ahead and make yourself some breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever it is.
Right.
Hydration is very important for weight loss and just overall health of the body.
Absolutely. We're
Like
70% water.
that's right.
We
Yep,
need
70%
we
water.
need to be hydrated. And I hear tell that most Americans are chronically dehydrated,
Oh
and
yeah.
they mistake hunger. I mean, they think they're hungry when they're really
Mhm.
just thirsty.
Yep.
So if they did drink that water, and filtered water, like you said, is absolutely essential. If they
Mhm.
did drink that water, it probably would satisfy their hunger for at
It
least
would.
another hour or so.
Yep.
You know, I think
It
that's
would.
a good point. What do you think about that apple cider vinegar at the end of the day?
Ooh, you got me here. I hate it. I can't stand it. I don't know how everybody else feels. For me, it does. Not for me, but I've heard it does curb some appetite. But for me, you don't really want to curb your appetite. You want to just give yourself body what it needs. I've just seen some things where it messes with tooth enamel, it messes with like esophageal lining and stuff like that. So I personally don't like it, but if it works for y'all, go ahead and try it out. So you like it. Just for me, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan. Okay.
That's a personal
Okay.
opinion. It's not really. I
That's
just see some
okay.
things, and I
Listen.
say tooth enamel. I don't have the great teeth anyway. I want to kind of keep them as long as I can. I don't want to
Right.
mess with my throat or anything like that, so I stay away from it. And I'm
Okay.
eating all day anyway, so
Okay. All right. And do you
just
think it's a good idea to eat 3 meals a day and two snacks, or is it better just to have three substantial meals without any snacks? I mean,
I
as
would
far as your
say. Go ahead.
metabolism is concerned.
As far as metabolism is concerned, I would say eat smaller meals more often. So
Okay.
three pretty sizable meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner. And between those, every 3 4 hours, let's say, you want to have your snack, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, and then you're gonna just gonna blow some tops here. I eat before bed, and it's the best thing in the world. You don't want to be having crap food before bed, but the time your body is recovering and rebuilding mostly is during sleep. So why
Right.
not give it some nutrients while you sleep? I'm not saying go have a pizza or a bunch of pasta, crap like that.
No.
Um, oatmeal before bed is actually not terrible for you with a little bit of pure cocoa, peanut butter, and some soy milk, let's say, if that's what you
Yeah.
like. What I have before bed is I get Dave's Killer Bread or some sort of like 647 bread, whatever it is. So that's whole nutrients. It's got oats and nuts and flaxseed and
Right.
everything. One
Right.
slice of Dave's Killer Bread, I toast it. I put some avocado on there, a couple eggs, a couple egg whites, whatever you like, a little bit of black pepper, and I eat that. That's what I like.
Nice.
Makes me feel good. I don't wake up at night. It actually helps me sleep better.
Right.
So you see, you're like, I shouldn't eat before bed. I can't eat after 8 o'clock. Don't limit yourself.
No.
When you start limiting yourself, then you're going to start driving yourself crazy.
Right.
And I found that most people that I've worked with that eat a little bit before bed, I'm not saying have a giant meal, like I just said,
Right.
um, have something. Give yourself some, give your body something to work with. It's most time recovered. And I kind of found this out when the whole COVID thing happened. And we were locked down. I had no other thing to do except I built a home gym and I was just trying different things out for my body. And eating before bed was essential to help me recover. I woke up less sore. I woke up less tired in the morning because I had some nutrients and some sugar to burn off in the morning. I just felt overall better. Try it out.
You
See
know,
how you like it.
the Europeans,
Hmm.
they eat dinner around 10 o'clock at night. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. And, if you go to a
I'm okay
restaurant,
with that.
yeah, if you go to a restaurant, say in Greece or Italy or something, and you go
Hmm.
there at around 6 o'clock for what you think you're going to have dinner, they're closed. And they look
Yeah,
at you like, dinner
get
isn't
out.
until 10 o'clock. I mean, come on.
I believe it.
So, yeah, you're right. Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is when the body is rebuilding itself. And that's really the
Hmm.
best time to be sleeping so that you have that opportunity to rebuild itself.
Right.
And it just makes sense that if you put some nutrients in your body, but not too many, because
Right.
unless you have one hell of a metabolism, a lot of that's going to get stored as fat. So
Right.
it's got to be, well, this
It's
is what
almost
I
like
do.
a small snack.
Yeah, like right.
Hmm.
The small meal in the morning just to kickstart your
Right.
metabolism, your
Hmm.
big meal in the middle of the day, because then you have the rest of the day to burn it off and to use it for energy and whatever else you
Right.
need.
Mhm.
And then a small, like a big snack
Right.
for
Essentially, yeah.
dinner,
That's
and
perfect.
whatever time it suits you, so that you have something to burn and
Mhm.
something to repair yourself with,
Right. Recovery
right?
is very, very important, especially in weight loss and even weight gain for some people trying to put on a little bit of meat. Recovery, recovery, recovery. You talk about it all the time. Food is one of the best things to help recover, especially after exercise. And
Absolutely.
I always like to kind of make this point. Um, I know we're not really talking about exercise here, but I always like to throw this in. So when I meet clients, I tell them, I'm sure you've heard this term. It's 80% what you eat and or 80% diet, 20% exercise, right? And I always tell them bullshit. It's 100% exercise and it's 100% nutrition. When I'm not
Okay.
saying don't take a rest day or don't have a cheat meal, you know what I mean? But
Right.
when it's your day to eat healthy 100%. When it's your day to go exercise 100%. I never
Right.
put less than 100% in anything I do, so I'm going 100% all the way. That's
Okay.
what I like to look at, you
I
know?
know. Yes, I know. I know. And you're in excellent physical condition and you look healthy as all get out. So it must
Thank
be
you.
working for you.
And
Absolutely.
so it's got to be
Absolutely.
working for you too.
Well, I have about
you're
15 pounds
you're what
that
you're
I'm trying to
you're what I
put on.
look up to. So
Well, I love working with you, and I think
it's a
you're
pleasure,
very,
absolute
very
pleasure.
you're a wonderful inspiration to all of your team and to the people that you meet, and they enjoy
Thank you,
you because you are a very genuine person. You're a person who tells it like it is. You're not sugarcoating it. You want to
thank you.
tell a person, listen, you need to do X, Y, and Z if you want to get these results. If you want
Right,
to BS yourself and keep going the way you're going, then expect exactly what you're getting because that's what
right.
you're going to continue to do.
This is why you and I get along so well.
That's exactly
Same
right.
way,
Exactly.
just same way. It's awesome.
Yeah. I want to thank you very, very much. Is there anything else that you want to include that you feel is necessary to this conversation about peak performance through nutrition? Anything else you want to say?
I think we hit a lot, and let me check my notes here. I don't know if we missed anything. Said everything that we kind of wanted to talk about. We talked about the
Okay.
macronutrient supplements, everything
The
like that. So I
one
really
thing,
appreciate you having me.
oh my goodness. And so we're gonna have another talk and we're
Absolutely,
going
I'd
to
love to.
schedule it so it can be live, but we're going to talk about superfoods next time.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
All the superfoods, so that people can understand what's a superfood as opposed to say the regular kind of foods,
All right.
and you know, give suggestions on balancing them and including them in the diet. Don't you think that's a good topic?
I would love that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Very,
I look
very
forward to it. This is a lot of fun, and I will admit I was a little nervous to come on here, but you made it great. It was just like being at work, having a conversation, having fun with it, and
we,
I really appreciate you having me. This is awesome.
I really appreciate
This is
you.
great.
I look forward to our next conversation. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was a great, great talk. And I feel like
Absolutely.
some really good information came through. And I hope that everybody that hears this learns something because there's
I
some
hope so.
really
Yeah,
good stuff here.
that was
I want to
awesome. Yeah, I hope everybody takes a little bit, and everybody can feel free to reach out to you or myself if they have any more questions. I'd be happy to talk about it. It's what I love. It's my passion. So I'm dedicating the rest of my life to do. I went to school for it, and I continue to do this.
right.
I see you. This is your whole life as well, and it's truly
It
something I look
is.
forward to. And I could kind of see that I can go great places with this. So I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it again. I look forward to the next conversation. Thank you again.
So you're at
This is great.
RWJ Fitness and Wellness. That's in
Mhm.
Parlin, New Jersey, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And I think that you have a phenomenal program there because you guys deal with a lot of special populations.
We do.
And
Hmm.
so with your help with the physicality of the exercises and then your particular expertise in nutrition, you're able to give your clients some good information to get them started on healthy
Absolutely.
living, right?
Right. Absolutely. All kinds of people from young kids to elderly, middle age, you name it, special populations, any type of thing you can think of. They walk through the door, and we look forward to helping each and every single one of them
I
individually,
know,
uniquely. It's what we live for.
right. I want to thank you very much, Mike. It was a great
Thank you again.
conversation.
Oh, it's awesome.
And I will talk to you again soon. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll see you. All right.
Okay. Take care. I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
I'll see you on Thursday. That's when I'm in again. Okay.
I'll be there. All
Okay.
right.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
night.
You as well. Have a good night.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed that program as much as I did. Mike is full of wonderful information. He is such a knowledgeable fellow on nutrition, and he's living example of what taking care of the body is all about. So join me next week when I talk to one of the owners of Tula Yoga, and we talk about the benefits, physical, mental, and spiritual, of yoga, because there are so many things that we can do for ourselves in a natural and healthy way that do not include drugs or prescriptions or surgeries. If we want to make the mind-body connection, there are lots of things that we can do in a natural and healthy way. So join me next week at 8 o'clock for my talk with Jennifer, and we'll have a great conversation then too. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please share this video if you enjoyed it. Let your friends know about the show, and thank you so much for being here. This is your host, Ellen Nicholas Rathbone, sensuality consultant, life coach, and fitness health enthusiast. Thank you for joining me. See you next week. Namaste, and do your Kegels.